couple of years back, I was at one of my storytelling guild meetings, and I came away feeling a little bit abashed because I was one of the few storytellers that I knew who didn't have a creation myth. So I thought, I need to sit down and write one. I went over to Boston Chicken in Seminole, Florida, sat down, and in about 40 minutes I had the bones of the story that I call How the Stars Came to Live in the Nighttime Sky. It's been a few years since I've written it, and I've polished it up a little bit, and I would like to do that story for you here today. Long dreams ago, and more years than anyone can count, the universe was dark and silent. So when Creator made the earth, there was no way to see the wonders of this creation. So Creator made the sun and placed the sun high in the sky to send his warmth and light to hug the earth and bring forth her beauty and abundance. Well, Creator looked upon the wonders of the earth, saw the golden fields, the deep green forests, the towering gray mountains, and the cool, deep blue waters. And Creator's heart was filled with joy. But as you know, joy is really only complete if we can share it. And there was no one to share in the wonders of the earth. So Creator made the people and placed the people to live upon the earth. And when the people opened their eyes for the first time and looked around and saw the beautiful world the Creator had made for them, oh, they were just so filled with joy. Their happiness in Creator's was complete. For a while. But people are people after all, and after a little bit they began to realize there was just one small detail that kept the earth from being absolutely perfect in every way. So they went to the place where they could speak to Creator in all reverence. Creator, they said, we love the home that you have created for us. The plains feed us abundantly. The waters refresh and cool us. And the forests and mountains always entice us with their mysteries. But Creator, every day we have such a wonderful time discovering new things about our home. And the sun lights our way. But, well, the sun is always there, Creator, and it's hard for us to know when it's time to be awake and work and play, and when it's time for us to fall asleep and rest. The sunlight tickles our eyelids awake. Creator, isn't there something you can do to solve this one small, insignificant problem? Well, Creator listened to the people and sat back and thought long and hard. And then said yes. And Creator caused the earth to spin ever so slowly. So at every point of the time of the day, half of the earth was bathed in sunlight, while half was cloaked in darkness. There, said Creator. Now you have both day and night. Will that do? The people were so happy. It's wonderful, Creator. Thank you, they said, and back they went to their villages. And everything was wonderful for a while. But people are people after all, and prone to find just a little bit of fault even with perfection. And so they traveled back to the place where they could speak to Creator in all reverence. And once again they called out, Creator, we thank you so much for the day and the night that solved our problem about sleeping completely. Because the sunlight no longer tickles our eyelids awake. But sometimes we work just a little bit too much during the day, and we work farther into the night. And when that happens, we can't see where we're going. We could walk into a tree, fall into a pit, or come to some other great harm. Creator, isn't there something you can do to solve this one small problem for us? And Creator heard the people and sat back and thought. And then said, yes. And Creator reached to the sun, took some of the silver from the sunlight and shaped it and formed the moon and placed the moon on the dark side of the earth so that on the night times the moon would catch the light from the sun and reflect it back to the surface of the earth. Not so much that it could tickle the eyelids awake, but just enough to keep the people safe as they made their way home in the darkness. Their Creator said to the people, "Will that do?" And oh, the people were so grateful. "Yes, Creator, that is wonderful." And they went home to their villages, and they had such a wonderful time because now they could work and play as much as they wanted during the day. And then when the sun was no longer in the sky above them, they had the moonlight to guide them safely home. And everything was wonderful with the people for a while. But people are people after all, and prone to find just a little bit of fault even with perfection. And they remembered that they needed to go back to the place where they could speak with Creator in all reverence to talk about one more small detail. "Creator," they said, "we thank you so much for the sun and the moon. The sunlight lights all of our activities and keeps us safe and warm, and the moonlight guides us safely home at night without being harsh enough to wake us up. But Creator, there are times when the moon doesn't appear in the nighttime sky. And then it is just as dark as ever, and we could still walk into a tree, fall into a pit, or come to some other great harm. Creator," they said, "isn't there something you can do to solve this last small detail?" Creator sat back, heard the people, and thought long and hard, and then said, "No. You have the power to bring light into the darkness. You must solve this problem yourselves." And Creator sat back and wouldn't say another thing about it. The people didn't know what to do. Creator had never denied them before. They had no idea how Creator could mean that they had the same kind of power to light the heavens as Creator did. They sat and they thought in the field, and they built their cooking fires, and they talked about what was going on, and then they noticed that from their cooking fires, there were little embers that rose into the sky. And one of the people said, "Wait, if we build an even larger cooking fire, our embers will go higher into the nighttime sky. Maybe they will stick against that inky blackness, and we will solve our problem." So the people matched word to deed, and they went out and they gathered all kinds of twigs and all kinds of things and built that fire so high that those embers went higher and higher and higher into the nighttime sky, and then they blinked out. Didn't work. Oh, the people were so disappointed. "We don't know what to do next," they said. "Creator says we have the power, and we don't know how." "Wait," one of them said. "On the nights when the moon isn't in the nighttime sky, we carry torches to light our way, and sometimes the wind carries that fire ahead of us so we can have our way lit even better. Maybe if we take larger torches and carry them up to the highest mountaintop, the winds up there will carry our fires into the heavens, and we will always have light in the darkness." Well, they made their large torches. They went up the side of that mountain, lit those torches, held them high above their heads at the summit of that mountain. But do you know, the winds up there were so strong they blew those torches right out. And the people were left to make their way back down the mountain in darkness. Well, they were very disappointed. The next day, they looked at each other and thought, "How can we solve our problem? This is just insurmountable." Well, some of the people thought that if they could find a way to hurl a ball of fire into the sky, that perhaps they could hurl it far enough that it would stick there in the heavens and solve their problem. So the people built a catapult, and in the cup of that catapult, they placed a ball made of dried twigs and grasses and old leaves, everything they could find that they thought would burn. They rolled it into a big ball and slathered it all with animal grease, and they set that ball into the cup of the catapult. They set it afire and released that ball high into the sky. It went up and up and up and down and sputtered out at their feet in the field. The people were so disappointed they had no idea what Creator could possibly have meant to say that they had the power to bring night into the darkness. Obviously, that was wrong. The people went back to their villages because they had been gone for a while now, and when they got to their homes, they looked at their scene in complete dismay. What did they find? Their homes had fallen into disarray. Their fields had gone back to weed. Their herds had wandered off into the wild. There was so much work to do, the people had no idea how they were going to accomplish this. Oh, but people are people after all. And they soon realized that what one cannot accomplish alone, many can do if they worked together. And so it was that men and women helped each other, little boys, little girls, all worked together to help set one neighbor's home aright, to till another's garden, and to bring another's herds back to the enclosures. It wasn't long before there was so much activity, the people were working long and hard in order to be able to put their village back together, and they realized that sometimes they worked well into the night, even on those nights when the moon didn't appear in the nighttime sky. And that's when they looked up and saw something wonderful. Every single night that they looked up, they saw a different point of light appearing in the nighttime sky, and they soon realized that for every man and woman and child who worked without self-interest to help another person to solve their problems, there was another bright, sparkling point of light in the sky. Well, the people looked at these bright lights. They wanted to acknowledge them. They gave them a name and called them stars. And at night, after they all finished working, the men, the women, and the children would sit in the field. They would look back up at the nighttime sky and notice all the new stars that had appeared, and they would tell each other the stories behind each one of them. Well, it wasn't long before the stars and their stories spread all around the world. And sooner or later, the people realized something really important. It was just as Creator had said. They did have the power to bring light into the darkness. And if you wonder if it's true today, if any of our acts of kindness actually make a difference in someone's life, well, all you have to do is walk outside at night when the moon isn't in the sky. Sit back and look up at those millions and billions of stars that now fill the universe. And you will know in your heart that it's just as Creator promised so long ago. Each of us does indeed have the power to bring light into the darkness, because each one of us does indeed hold the spark of the Creator.